you wrong. Around the world, there are some seriously unusual pets, and if something goes wrong, they could easily and literally bite their owners' heads off. Let's just hope that they remain happy and well-fed. Messy the mountain lion. First up, we're heading over to Penza in Russia, where Alexander and Mariah Dmitriev share their home with a beast that could bite their head off at any moment. Say hello to Messy the mountain lion. While a puma of this size could attack a human if it wanted to, what with its sharp claws, piercing teeth, and strong jaw and all, he's been described as a very kind-natured and calm cat who wouldn't hurt a fly. The trio have been living together since 2016 in, believe it or not, a small studio apartment. It should come as no surprise that this drew a fair chunk of criticism from animal lovers worldwide, especially after Messy became internet famous. While the criticizers' opinions about domestic housing certainly have merit, the mountain lion's owners believe that this is their only option, and that Messy wouldn't have survived on his own in the wild. So, what's it like owning a mountain lion? In Messy's case, it's just like owning a dog. His owners take him on long walks twice a day, and he's even interacted with friendly neighborhood dogs. Well, what about the training? Puppy school, of course. And he can respond to 10 different commands. Like most dog owners, Alexander and Mariah feed Messy twice a day with a delicious concoction of raw turkey, beef, and chicken. But what would happen if he got free from his leash? Most likely, nothing, since Messy is a smaller puma with an exceptionally kind soul. However, they do strap him up with a custom leash and harness to make sure that he doesn't get out. Now, you might think that owning a puma is illegal, but that's not entirely true. It depends upon where you live. In Russia, it's complicated, but it is allowed. And even in the American states of Alabama, Nevada, and Wisconsin, people are allowed to own pets like cougars with no restrictions. Rex, the water monitor lizard, known to his close human friends as Fat Bud. If we take the Komodo dragon out of the equation, the Asian water monitor is one of the heaviest species of lizard on the entire planet. Well, the maximum recorded weight of the species is up to 50 kilograms, or 110 pounds. In Rex's case, he tips the scales at close to 22 kilograms, which is still an enormous size for a household lizard. How does one end up with a pet like this, you ask? Well, Rex's former owner shipped off to the army when he was just a couple of months old, and that's when he found his new home. So, what does a reptile like Rex eat? A mixture of fish and rodents most of the time, with a particular love of squirrels and rabbits. Not quite our diet of choice, but hey, to each his own. Hyena men. Our next stop is Nigeria, where a group of hyenas have been taken under the wing of locals and become their pets. Take a look at this photo that was snapped on a cell phone in Lagos, Nigeria. This turned out to be the picture that started it all, creating enormous interest around the globe, and raising a lot of issues regarding the ethics of it all. They're known as the hyena men, and they are such a unique, closed-off group of society that they inspired journalist and photographer Peter Hugo to go down and observe the situation with his very own eyes. After spending 8 entire days with the animal handlers near Abuja, the nation's capital, Peter Hugo learned that the people who owned these hyenas were actually performers. They'd practice traditions passed down from generation to generation and use the animals to entertain crowds. It's not illegal, though the keepers do indeed have permits from the Nigerian government. And yes, in case you were wondering, you really can buy hyena leashes online, even on Amazon. There's plenty of toys available for purchase too, like this Aussie dog hyena enrichment toy. Japanese man with caiman. Over in Hiroshima, Japan, an elderly man named Nobumitsu Murabayashi lives with what can only be described as a mammoth of a reptile. Apparently named Cayman, this beast measures up to 6 foot 8 inches and tips the scales at close to 100 pounds. He's been described by his owner as a gentle soul. The creature lives with Murabayashi in his home, and they've been bunk buddies now for close to 35 years. And that's amazing when you consider the fact that the life expectancy of a caiman is anywhere between 20 and 30 years. The owner even brushes Cayman's teeth for him. Now that's love. Does the elderly man walk his caiman? Yeah, you bet he does. Strangers on the street are all kinds of frightened and confused when they see what at first looks like an alligator going for a leisurely Sunday stroll on a leash. So how did Mr. Murabayashi end up with a caiman in the first place? Well, a few decades ago, he spotted the baby reptile at an exotic animal festival, and he decided to buy it. Thereafter, he had to seek the approval of the city's government to keep the unusual pet at his house, and they were more than happy to grant the permission. Lions. Kevin Richardson. Affectionately known as the Lion Whisperer, Kevin has slept next to, fed, and lived with lions. And even though he's been scratched, punctured, and bitten along the way, he remains confident that the pros outweigh the cons. Kevin has known them since birth and developed a deep relationship with them over the years. If not for that intricate bond, he'd steer well clear of them. Why? Because as he said himself, people like to take things out of context. I don't know the relationship I have with these lions. Jessica the Hippo. Tony and Shirley Joubert found little Jessica after she was washed up by a flood onto his riverside home on the banks of the Blythe River in South Africa on March 11th in 2000. And at the time, she weighed just 35 pounds. For a hippo, that's light as a feather. As Shirley told us, the hippo calf tried to get up, but was terribly tired and too weak. Since she had no energy and would have been destined for trouble, the couple had to intervene. Thanks to his career background as a park ranger, Tony had the necessary know-how to bring Jessica back to full health. Fast forward to today, and Jessica now weighs a bed-breaking 1,540 pounds. And yes, she did literally break Tony's bed. She's free to go wherever she likes, but time and time again, she comes back to say hi to her beloved humans. Pet bear. We're heading to Russia yet again, where we're going to meet the kind, the cuddly, and the social pet Stepan. Living alongside his humans Svetlana and Yuri Panalenko in Moscow, Stepan has been a part of the household since he was just a cub, barely old enough to open his own eyes. The gentle giant was initially found in the wilderness by hunters when he was just 3 months old. Unfortunately, he was in a terrible condition without his mother in sight, so Svetlana and Yuri decided to give the bear cub a home. They took in the orphan and raised him as if he were their very own child for close to 2.5 decades. These days, the 300-pound grizzly bear eats 25 kilograms of fish, vegetables, and eggs every single day. What's most amazing is that Stepan played the role of officiant at Svetlana and Yuri's wedding. Check out the photos. Weird, right? Komodo dragon, the world's most enormous species of lizard found only in Indonesia. Because of their sheer size and rarity, these guys are in high demand as exotic pets. However, the Komodo dragon is protected under Indonesian law, and if you own, trade, or destroy one, then you're looking at up to 5 years behind bars and fines of up to 100 million rupee, which is about 7,000 US. Lioness in Indiana. Next up, we're heading to Tell City in Indiana, USA, where a woman named Anna Stutter lives with her cat Shahazara. The name Shahazara means Queen of Queens, and if you take a look at her plopped on the couch in Anna's living room, then yeah, you'll quickly see that she is definitely queen of the house. But how on earth is Anna legally allowed to own a lion? The Midwestern state is among 21 that permit individuals to own lions, tigers, and other wild felines. All you need to do is apply for a permit. Fenny the giraffe. Standing over 10 feet tall, Fenny was taken in by the McRae family in South Africa after they found the young calf covered in bugs and dehydrated in the hot African bush. With the help of 6 people, Craig McRae lifted Fenny onto his pickup truck and drove her to safety. Fenny acted much like a household dog, responding to her name, coming in and out of the house as she pleased, and even stepping right over furniture to get around the house.